New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. The US announces additional $6 billion long-term military aid package for Ukraine under Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative.
Largest security assistance package that we've committed to date.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken accuses China of helping fuel Russian threat to Ukraine, says Washington will act if China does not stop to act. Flooding and heavy rains create havoc in Kenya, at least 70 killed. More rains forecast across the country in the coming days as monsoon batters East Africa. India's northeastern states lead in poll percentage in the second phase of parliamentary elections ended on Friday. Campaigning for third phase gains momentum. Let's get to updates on Russia-Ukraine conflict first. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has announced new weapons purchase for Ukraine worth $6 billion on Friday. The announcement comes days after President Biden signed a long-awaited aid package containing $61 billion in military support for Ukraine. In a media briefing, Austin said the U.S. will provide Ukraine additional Patriot missiles for its air defense systems as part of the additional aid package. The new funding, the largest tranche of U.S. aid sent to the date, also includes high mobility artillery rocket systems or the HIMARS, as well as Switchblade and Puma drones, counter drone systems and artillery.
I'm also pleased to announce today an additional commitment of $6 billion through our Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. That will allow us to procure new capabilities for Ukraine from U.S. industry. This is the largest security assistance package that we've committed to date.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky discussed the need for Patriots early on Friday at the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, a coalition of about 50 countries gathering virtually in a Pentagon-led meeting. Zelensky said at least 7 Patriot systems are needed to protect Ukrainian cities. He added Patriots can and should save lives right now. The Ukraine Defense Contact Group has been meeting about monthly for the past 2 years and is the primary forum for weapons contributions to Kyiv for the war. Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called on other allies to follow Germany's example and to increase their aid to Ukraine during a visit to Germany on Friday.
Germany is the biggest European contributor of military aid to Ukraine. You just decided to send a third Patriot system to Ukraine, and I strongly believe that other allies should follow the example of Germany.
The Ukrainian capital Kyiv evacuated 2 civilian hospitals on Friday after the warning of Belarusian KGB security service. The head of the Belarusian security service said that they were housing soldiers, sparking fears of an airstrike. Kyiv city authorities said that they were moving patients and staff from both hospitals to other medical facilities. The Kyiv city administration said a video widely circulated online which contained a threat to attack the 2 facilities, including a children's hospital. Australia's Defence Minister Richard Marles, during his visit to Poland, said on Friday that his country is committed to support Ukraine and has also become much more illuminated about what is occurring in Europe. Richard Marles said the relationship with Poland is put into sharp relief and both countries have started talks on trade.
We are very committed to supporting Ukraine in its conflict with Russia, but we have also become much more illuminated about what is occurring in Europe. And in that sense, the relationship with Poland is put into sharp relief, and we see that there is enormous opportunity for our 2 countries to work together.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken raised concerns on Friday about China's support for Russia's military, one of the many issues threatening to sour the recent improvement in relations between the world's biggest economies. Blinken raised the matter during 5.5 hours of talks with China's top diplomat Wang Yi in Beijing, the latest high-level contact between the countries that have eased last year's acrimony. The visit produced little progress on contentious issues, including U.S. complaints about cheap Chinese exports and tensions over Taiwan and the South China Sea.
I reiterated our serious concern about the PRC providing components that are powering Russia's brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. China is the top supplier of machine tools, microelectronics, nitrocellulose, which is critical to making munitions and rocket propellants, and other dual-use items that Moscow is using to ramp up its defense industrial base. A defense industrial base that is churning out rockets, drones, tanks, and other weapons that President Putin is using to invade a sovereign country, to demolish its power grid and other civilian infrastructure, to kill innocent children, women, and men.
On his visit to China, Blinken also clarified that U.S. export controls on sending advanced computing chips to China are not meant to hold back China's economy or technological development. Since 2022, U.S. officials have imposed sweeping controls on which computing chips can be exported to China. But U.S. officials have granted at least 2 U.S. companies, Intel and Qualcomm, licenses to keep shipping chips to Huawei, which is using an Intel chip to power a new laptop model. China has urged the U.S. to stop hyping up the false narrative of China's overcapacity and asked for it to lift what it called illegal sanctions on Chinese companies. The statement came after the meeting between U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Friday. Chinese President Xi Jinping also reiterated Beijing's concerns that Washington was suppressing its economic development in his meeting with Blinken. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Iran should question the effectiveness of its weapons system after it failed the attack on Israel earlier this month. He added that Israel has a significant ability to defend itself.
Now, what the Iranians learned, I'm not really sure, but what they should learn is that, first of all, their systems don't work as advertised. That they employed a lot of munitions with the intent on creating significant damage in Israel. They should be questioning the effectiveness of their weapon systems and their planning. So hopefully they don't walk away from this overconfident that they can do this at will, because I think Israel has demonstrated that it has a significant ability to defend itself.
Israel's military on Friday released a video of what it says is its air force striking a terrorist who advanced attacks against Israel in Lebanon's West Bekaa district. In a statement, the IDF said an IAF aircraft struck and eliminated Mossab Khalaf in the area of Medoun in Lebanon, a senior terrorist in Jama Islamiyah terrorist organization who advanced a large number of attacks against Israel. It further said the Jama Islamiyah terrorist organization recently planned and prompted a large number of terror attacks from Lebanese territory against Israel in the area of Hardov, as well as additional areas in northern Israel. Israel's hardline National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir was slightly hurt in a car accident and was taken to a hospital on Friday. Police Commissioner Kobi Shabtai said 2 other people were injured in the incident and they were investigating the circumstances. Ben-Gvir was leaving the scene in the city of Ramleh near Tel Aviv, where police said a suspected stabbing attack had occurred shortly before. The US military said on Friday that Iran-backed Houthis launched 3 anti-ship ballistic missiles into the Red Sea from Yemen, causing minor damage to one ship, the UK-owned MV Andromeda Star. US Central Command said on the social media platform X that a missile landed in the vicinity of a second vessel, the MV Maisha, but it was not damaged. Yemen's Houthis said on Saturday that their missiles hit the Andromeda Star oil tanker in the Red Sea. Houthi spokesman Yahya Saraya said that the Panama-flagged ship was British-owned, but shipping data showed it was recently sold. Its current owner is Seychelles registered. The tanker is engaged in Russia-linked trade and it was en route from Primorsk, Russia to Vadinar. Houthi terrorists have launched repeated drone and missile strikes in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandab Strait and Gulf of Aden since November, forcing shippers to reroute cargo to longer and more expensive journeys around southern Africa. The attack on the Andromeda Star comes after a brief pause in the Houthis' campaign that targets ships with ties to Israel, United States and Britain. Hamas said it had received on Saturday Israel's official response to its position over ceasefire talks and will study the proposal before submitting its response. Hamas's deputy Gaza chief Khalil al-Hayya in a statement informed about the development. After more than 6 months of Gaza conflict, the negotiations remain deadlocked, with Hamas sticking to its demands that any agreement must end the conflict. An Egyptian delegation visited Israel for discussion with Israeli officials on Friday, looking for a way to restart talks to end the conflict and return the remaining hostages taken when Hamas fighters stormed into Israeli towns on October 7th. The United States and 17 other countries appealed to Hamas on Thursday to release all of its hostages as a pathway to end the crisis. Let's get to the latest update on October 7th Israel attack. A UN spokesperson informed that Office of Internal Oversight Services has been investigating 19 UNRWA staff members who were terminated so far. UNRWA is considering what administrative action is to be taken while they are under investigation. One case was closed as no evidence was provided by Israel to support the allegations against the staff member. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, third witness testifies in President Donald Trump's hush money trial case that continued for the second week. Colorado confirms first case of bird flu in dairy milking cattle, becomes 9th US state with a confirmed case. We get you the miniature showstoppers at Lego Speed Racing at the exhibition by Macau Grand Prix Museum in Hong Kong.
The connection between the wellness of our planet and our own well-being is more direct than we tend to believe. Let's explore more ways of helping the nature and in turn helping ourselves.
So tigers are water babies. If the forest is degraded, you will not have perennial water bodies. As in, the streams will dry out and therefore you don't have tigers.
These are all valuable to our economy, but they aren't valued in our economy. Nature like this is being left out of the equation.
Litter on the street always infuriated Malarvari Muthu and her daughter-in-law Rajavalli Rajiv. They thought that people might not throw their garbage on the street if they could get money for it instead. And that's how the idea for the garbage bank was born.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. Let's get to more international updates. The second week of former US President Donald Trump's hush money trial concluded on Friday afternoon. The former president is charged with falsifying business records in connection with a hush money payment to an adult film actress before the 2016 presidential election. 3 of the prosecution's witnesses testified on Friday. Ex-tabloid publisher David Pecker, Trump's former longtime assistant Rona Graff, and Michael Cohen's former banker Gary Farrow.
David Packer testified that he suppressed a story about an alleged affair to help Trump's 2016 presidential bid, even though it would have boosted sales of his tabloid. Packer was the first witness in the case who accused Trump 77 of falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to adult star Stormy Daniels. Packer's testimony was followed by witness Rona Graff, a longtime Trump assistant and a banker who dealt with Michael Cohen. Graff testified that she once saw Daniels at Trump Tower before he ran for president. She said she heard Trump say he was interested in casting her on The Apprentice, the reality TV show he hosted. She said the email addresses of Daniels and McDougal were stored in the computer systems of Trump's company. The trial is set to resume Tuesday morning. Jurors will now have a 3-day weekend to think about what they heard during the first full week of testimony in the historic Donald Trump hush money trial.
Jeremy Cooper, a former paramedic in Aurora in Colorado, was sentenced to 14 years probation, 14 months of work release and 100 hours of community service on Friday. Cooper and another paramedic, Peter Sikunik, were found guilty of criminally negligent homicide in December in the death case of Elijah McClain, a 23-year-old black man who was subdued by police and injected with ketamine on August 24, 2019. Colorado has undergone significant police reform since the killing of McClain and the following year's racial justice protests ignited by the killing of George Floyd at the hands of police in Minnesota. Colorado confirmed its first case of bird flu in dairy milking cattle. The case was confirmed, making Colorado the 9th U.S. state with a confirmed case. The U.S. Department of Agriculture confirmed milking cows in Colorado tested positive following earlier infections in Texas, Kansas, Michigan, Ohio, Idaho, New Mexico, North Carolina, and South Dakota. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration late on Friday said that preliminary results from gold standard PCR testing showed pasteurization kills the virus in milk and baby formula. It did not say how many milk products it had tested, but added that it plans to do more testing on 297 products from 38 states. The current overall public health risk posed by the H5N1 bird flu virus is low. The World Health Organization has urged countries to stay alert for cases of animal to human transmission. Buckingham Palace said Britain's King Charles will return to public duties next week for the first time since being diagnosed with cancer on Friday. The palace added that he will be announcing more on this, and a photo of King Charles and Queen Camilla posing in Buckingham Palace Gardens was released to mark the announcement on social media. He continued with official state business. The diagnosis led him to postpone public engagements to begin treatment and rest. King Charles had been diagnosed with unspecified form of cancer in February. Japanese Emperor Naruhito and his wife Empress Masako will pay a state visit to Britain in late June. Buckingham Palace on Friday said that they will visit Britain as guests of King Charles and his wife Queen Camilla. The palace further said that Charles and Camilla will host the emperor and his wife. No further details of the visit had been finalized to allow for possible modifications to minimize any risks to the king's recovery. The imperial couple last visited Britain in 2022 to attend the state funeral of the late Queen Elizabeth. In Kenya, flooding and heavy rains have killed at least 70 people since mid-March. Kenya and other countries in East Africa, a region highly vulnerable to climate change, have been lashed by severe downpours in recent weeks. More than 1 lakh people have been displaced by floods. At least 64 public schools in the capital were flooded and had to be shut down. Roads and bridges have been damaged. Kenyans have been warned to stay on alert with more heavy rains forecast across the country in coming days as the monsoon batters East Africa. Other East African countries have reported flooding, with 155 people reported to have died in neighboring Tanzania and more than 200,000 people affected in Burundi. Violent tornadoes slammed Nebraska, United States on Friday evening, causing severe damage in Omaha city of the state. Hundreds of homes and other structures were damaged as the tornado tore for miles along the farmland and into subdivisions. Some injuries were reported, but there were no immediate reports that anyone was killed. The Epley airfield, also known as Omaha Airport, was closed upon touchdown of the tornado. Passengers were placed in storm shelters for safety and no injuries were reported. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck just off Taiwan's eastern county of Hualien on Saturday. The quake shook buildings in the capital Taipei. The weather administration said the quake had a depth of 24.9 kilometers. It further said that there were no immediate reports of damage as of now. Taiwan has been hit by more than 1,000 aftershocks since a 7.2 magnitude struck Hualien earlier this month, killing 17 people. In Ghana, many people still rely on fuel, wood and charcoal for cooking instead of cleaner energy like the LPG in spite of rapid urban sprawl. Environmental campaigners are concerned about its effect on not just on the health of the people, but also the environment. They say a more sustainable production and use of fuel, wood and charcoal has become important to protect people's livelihoods. DD India's correspondent Nabil Ahmed Rufai reports from Accra.
Mame Comfort has been running this Ghanaian local food joint in Accra for nearly 20 years. Charcoal is the primary energy source used to cook the dishes here.
I use charcoal because it's readily available and very cheap, but the heat that comes from it when I'm cooking is unbearable and it takes a toll on my health.
Charcoal and fuel wood produce high levels of pollution, which affects people's health. But in Ghana, nearly 80% of households use fuel wood, including charcoal, for cooking, according to government data. While millions of people in sub-Saharan Africa rely on charcoal for cooking, experts say it contributes to climate change because trees are chopped and burned to make it. Environmental campaigners want the government to provide subsidy on cleaner energy sources like LPG so people cut down on the use of fuel wood and charcoal. Some countries in sub-Saharan Africa like Kenya and Uganda have banned the production of charcoal to tackle the high rate of deforestation. Ghana is not looking to take that step as yet, but the government wants to increase the use of clean cooking fuels from 23% to 50% in urban and rural areas by 2030.
It is important that the transition first recognize that and we move people to efficient stove or improved cook stoves that suit their current cooking practices. That is, those using firewood, those using charcoal. If we can move them to clean fuels like LPG or electricity, we first of all change the technologies.
Experts believe more awareness campaigns are needed to make the mass population shift from charcoal and fuel wood to clean cooking technologies.
The efforts of few stakeholders cannot be sufficient for the whole country. There are a whole number of civil society organizations that can carry the message everywhere in their localities.
Mame Comfort says she doesn't mind adopting a clean cooking technology, but only if it's cheaper than charcoal. Nabil Ahmed Rufai, in Accra, Ghana, reporting for DD India.
A Chilean man accomplished an impressive feat by purchasing a brand new television solely with the coins gathered from beaches and parks across Chile. Luis Alvarez, an enthusiast of metal detecting, shared that it took him a week of dedicated effort to amass the necessary coins for his purchase. Through practice and familiarity with the machine sounds, he successfully gathered between $210 to $263 worth of coins within that time frame. And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Thousands rally in Budapest to demand child protection reforms. The demonstrators gathered outside Hungary's Interior Ministry in Budapest and called for its head, Sándor Pinter, to step down over what they see as his failure to prevent the sexual abuse of children in state-run institutions. Major Haiti tourist spots from the Citadel, Lefroy, Fortes to Labadie beaches have been plunged into desolation after a wave of violence hit the Caribbean country. Perched atop the Bonnet Elevique mountain, the fortress of La Ferrière in the north of the country, local tourists walk amid centuries-old cannonballs. In Brazil, a devastating fire engulfed a guest house in Porto Alegre, claiming the lives of at least 10 people and leaving 11 others injured on Friday. Authorities are yet to determine the cause of the blast. It has been revealed that the guest house was operating without a proper license and lacked fire safety plan, as disclosed by the fire department. The Macau Grand Prix Museum has opened an exhibition, Lego Speed Racing in Hong Kong, on Friday. It involves presentation of Formula 3 racing cars, a full-scale model based on the original cars, made entirely of Lego pieces, which was the main attraction of the event. Interestingly, the exhibitors can build their version of the miniature car race cars during the exhibition. Up next, we're heading for a short break, but after the break, campaigning picks up pace for Phase 3 of India's general elections. Leaders of major political parties to hold rallies. Ahead of general elections, two characters of folk drama, Ranglo and Rangli, were made mascots in Gujarat's Vadodara for voting awareness. We take you to the Kohima War Cemetery that chronicles the sacrifices of over 1,400 burials and 900 Hindu and Sikh cremations.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibilities. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. A quick relook at the top stories once again. The US announces additional $6 billion long-term military aid package for Ukraine under Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken accuses China of helping fuel Russian threat to Ukraine, says Washington will act if China does not stop to act. Flooding and heavy rains create havoc in Kenya. At least 70 killed. More rains forecast across the country in coming days as the monsoon batters East Africa. India's northeastern states lead in poll percentage in second phase of parliamentary elections ended on Friday. Campaigning for third phase gains momentum. And now we get to the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. The poll fever runs high in India as the voting for second phase of general elections in the country was held on Friday. Among the 13 states and union territories, the northeastern state of Tripura recorded the highest voter turnout on Friday. Manipur recorded the second highest turnout at 77.3%. And campaigning for the third phase of Lok Sabha elections gains momentum. Political parties are gearing up to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Maharashtra and Goa today in order to garner support for the party's favour. Prime Minister will also hold rallies in Kolhapur and South Goa. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah will visit Gujarat, where he will be holding rallies in Porbandar, Bharuch, Panchmahal and Vadodara. With the election campaign at its peak, political leaders are holding rallies and roadshows across the country. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge will visit Assam, where he will be holding a rally in Guwahati. Later in the day, he will hold a press conference in Assam's Barpeta. To garner support in the favour of the party, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi will hold rally in Maharashtra's Latur district. The third phase of India's general elections will witness 95 constituencies across the country going to polls. This figure includes the Bethol constituency in Madhya Pradesh, where voting process initially planned for April 26 was adjourned due to the death of BSP candidate. The third phase of the elections will witness 12 states and union territories participating in the democratic process. A total of 1,351 candidates contesting the elections in phase 3, and this figure excludes the sole BJP candidate in Surat, who was elected unopposed. Yogesh Sheetal is joining us from Maharashtra to get us more. Yogesh, good morning. When we talk of the poll fever, then the country is preparing for the third phase of polls, which will be held on May 7th. But at present, we see political parties crisscrossing the nation and also leaving no stone unturned. The political leaders, in fact, crisscrossing the nation and leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. Can we get more from you as to how is the poll contest shaped up in the third phase of the polling? What is it that we look forward to marking the third phase of polling special?
When it comes to third phase in Maharashtra, the entire region, let me tell you, the 11 parliamentary seats are there, and out of which 8 seats are from Western Maharashtra, 2 from Konkan and 2 from Marathwada. So currently 11 seats are there to be contested. Recently we have seen in the phase 2 there are 3 seats in Marathwada, but now there are 2 seats in Marathwada. Why I am repeating this Marathwada term? Because Marathwada is going to play a very crucial role in this election when it comes to the both faction of Shiv Sena and both faction of NCP as well, going through larger concept and Indi alliance as well as the Mahayuti Gathbandhan in Maharashtra. Now in these seats coming to the, as far as major candidates and the hot seats are concerned, Baramati is going to be the hottest seats in terms of candidates, and also recently we have seen a lot of political activities there in Baramati. For example, the Lok Sabha Pravas Yatra, which were carried out by the top leaders in BJP, Nirmala Sitharaman, the then finance minister, currently the senior BJP leader, she campaigned there, and she a door-to-door campaign was launched to make the communication and interaction very smooth and to convince the people, because Baramati has been the passion for NCP for a very long time, I think for multiple decades. And now, since it's a family battle, it's going to be expanded, and Sunitra Pawar is the wife of Ajit Pawar, and Supriya Sule, the daughter of Sharad Pawar, both are contesting. So the fight is going to be, very fierce at this point in time. So Baramati is going to be a seat everyone would be looking at. Apart from Baramati, there are other seats also in Konkan region. Ratnagiri Sindhudurg seats very important because Rani is there, and Rane has been very vocal and very aggressive against Uddhav Thackeray. And since Uddhav Thackeray party has been split in the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and Shiv Sena, so there are many seats in this phase where Shiv Sena, both the faction of Shiv Sena is directly in face of condition, and that will make the entire election more interesting. Apart from that, coming to the candidates, there are 258 candidates in the fray. The procedures are already on, and campaigning is going to be started and is expected to be intensified in the time to come. It's already a scorching heat in this region. The Prime Minister is going to address a rally in Osmanabad, which is now known as Dharashiv, as recently we know that some place, the name of some places have been changed by the government. So apart from that, even Pune, Satara, all the constituencies, the major rallies have been lined up, and we can expect in the time to come that the rallies and the the political heat would be more going up at this point in time in the entire region. Over to you.
Yes, political heat will be rising in the entire region, and Marathwada will be playing an important role in this phase. Thank you so much, Yogesh, for joining in. And from here, I will bring in Meghna Dev, who is joining us from Gujarat. Meghna, good morning. Talking of the third phase of polling, which will be held on May 7th, let us get more from you. How crucial is this phase in Gujarat? What are the key contests that we look forward to? How is this phase basically poised?
So when we actually see Gujarat definitely is known for a clean sweep for the BJP. It has obviously been BJP's home ground ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the Chief Minister of Gujarat. We definitely see that now, while there were 26 Lok Sabha seats here in Gujarat, now there are about, the contest is only for 25 seats because the candidate from Surat, the BJP candidate from Surat was elected unopposed. So what we definitely see here is today Home Minister and BJP senior leader Amit Shah will be campaigning in Porbandar, in Bharuch, he will be in Vadodara as well as Panchmahal. So in a sense, he is covering different areas of Gujarat, be it the Saurashtra region when we talk about Porbandar, be it the central Gujarat region when we talk about Vadodara, or be it, the tribal belt, for example, in Panchmahal, and obviously Bharuch, which is one of the areas in South Gujarat. So definitely campaigning is going to pick up from now onwards. We also hear that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will be campaigning in Gujarat, in South Gujarat specifically. In just a couple of days, the campaign is going to start. But we definitely see that the contest on some seats, for example, if we see the seat of Banaskantha, the contest is going to be extremely important because the Congress candidate Geniben Thakur is also a very prominent candidate from there. When we actually see the constituency of Rajkot, while we see that there is a little bit of a controversy going on for the Rajput community, Purushottam Rupala, BJP senior leader, and from the Congress side it is Paresh Dhanani who is contesting on the Rajkot seat. So that will be a very important contest to watch out for. We definitely know that Gandhinagar, from where BJP senior leader Amit Shah is contesting, has obviously been a very safe place for BJP to contest. It has been it has been a win-win situation for BJP on this seat for the past 4 decades, and the Congress has not been able to make inroads here. So basically in Gujarat, Preeti, if we see overall, there is not a multi-party contest or a multi-party system. It's always been Congress versus the BJP, and this time around Aam Aadmi Party is in coalition with Congress to fight here in Gujarat and is contesting on 2 seats. So what we definitely see here is that the contest in a few places is quite interesting, but besides that, what we definitely see is that BJP is leaving no stone unturned, while the Congress is also trying to go and strengthen the places, for example like in North Gujarat or in Saurashtra, where they actually have some good votes or a good percentage of votes that come to the Congress. So they are trying to strengthen what they already have, and besides that, while the BJP is obviously taking it as, because it's obviously been a safe ground for the BJP since the past, if we can say, 2 decades or almost.
All right, so it will be a closely contested battle between the 2 main parties in Gujarat. So we'll have to see how the contest pans out. Thank you so much, Meghna, for joining in with those details. And Vadodara Lok Sabha constituency in Indian state of Gujarat is set for the 3rd phase of assembly polls on May 7th. Two characters of the folk drama Ranglo and Rangli were made mascots for voting awareness ahead of the vote. The Election Commission leaving no stone unturned to influence the voters and urging them to step out of their homes and participate in this, the great festival of democracy. And here we have the Ranglo and Rangli, 2 characters of the folk drama, trying to spread the message to the people to step out and exercise their franchise And it is not just their right, but also responsibility and duty towards the nation to exercise their vote. As India shares its journey of empowering people through digital public infrastructure, it hopes to inspire other nations, learn from everybody and define its own digital priorities. Addressing the inaugural conference at the United Nations on the Citizens Stack, Digital Public Infrastructure, Transformative Technology for Citizens, Union Minister for Electronics and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav, has shared India's journey in harnessing the power of digital public infrastructure to foster inclusive growth and prosperity for all.
India has made it a policy objective to ensure that the benefits of digital revolution reach every corner of our diverse society. The vision has led to the development of India Stack, a bouquet of digital tools accessible to everyone. Building this public infrastructure was a true team effort. The government, private sector, non-profit organizations and volunteers all played a crucial role. The India Stack is like a set of building blocks for our digital world.
There is good news coming in from the UAE. Gina Justice, a teacher at our own English High School, Sharjah Girls Branch, has been named the regional winner for the Middle East and North Africa in the 2024 Cambridge Dedicated Teacher Awards. Justice, originally from Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, has been working in the UAE since 2005 and was recognized for her outstanding mentorship and dedication to charity. This year's competition saw a record-breaking number of nominations with over 14,840 submissions from 141 countries. The 7th session of the Working Group on Priority Investment Projects was held in Moscow on Friday under IRGC tech mechanism. Secretary DPIIT held a meeting with Russian officials of Ministry of Industry and Trade on the Russian Federation. Both the sides discussed issues of bilateral economic cooperation, several ongoing and prospective projects for investment. And up next, we get to the special report on the Kohima War Cemetery, a solemn tribute to the brave souls who perished in the fierce battle between British and Indian forces against the Japanese invasion in northeastern state of Nagaland. Situated at the pivotal point where the Japanese advance was halted, this cemetery, meticulously maintained by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, honors the sacrifices of over 1,400 burials and 900 Hindu and Sikh cremations. Our correspondent, Tapas Bhattacharya, gets us more.
Welcome to Kohima, a place of profound history and remembrance. Today, we give you a tour of Kohima War Cemetery, which is a memorial dedicated to soldiers who died in the Second World War at Kohima. Amidst the tranquil beauty of Kohima lies a solemn tribute to the brave souls who made the ultimate sacrifice during the Second World War. Established in April 1944, this war cemetery stands as a testament to the valor and the sacrifice of the 2nd British Division of the Allied Forces. Popularly remembered as the Stalingrad of the East, the Battle of Kohima was fought from April 4th to June 22nd in 1944. With 1,421 graves, each one a reminder of the life lost in the fight for freedom. Perched atop the Garrison Hill, the cemetery offers a breathtaking panorama of Kohima, a serene resting place for the heroes. 917 Hindus and 6 soldiers were also cremated according to their faith, and their bravery forever etched in the history. A visit to the sacred ground is a journey through time, leaving visitors captivated by the courageous tales of those who lie here. In Kohima, amidst the picturesque surroundings, the spirits of heroes live on, their sacrifice a beacon of hope for generations to come. With camperson Navin, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for GD India from Kohima, Nagaland.
The Indian Meteorological Department has predicted heat wave over east and south peninsular areas of the country till April 30th. The heat wave to severe heat wave conditions will likely prevail in many places over Gangetic, West Bengal, in some parts over Odisha and in isolated pockets over sub-Himalayan West Bengal. The Weather Department has also issued a heat wave alert for Maharashtra's Thane, Raigad districts and parts of Mumbai till April 29th. Delhi is expected to receive light rain with thunder showers on Saturday, accompanied by gusty winds. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India now. In India's northeastern state of Manipur, 2 CRPF personnel were killed in an attack by tribal Kuki groups on Friday in the Naran Sena area. The personnel are from CRPF's 128 Battalion deployed at Naran Sena area in Bishnupur district in the state. Forest fires in India's Uttarakhand became more severe on Friday. Indian Air Force Mi-17 helicopter struggled to put off the fire as they carried water from Bhimtal Lake to spray over forest fires. The Forest Department called in the IF and Indian Army to help control the fire, which had been burning for more than 36 hours and had destroyed hectares of forests. State's Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami will hold a meeting to tackle the situation today. Three-day art festival begins in India's Shimla city. The Himachal Art Festival began on Friday at Bantony Castle, which saw the participation of 350 artists. 32 well-known artists from across the country, including Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Delhi, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh are participating. A short break ahead, but after the break on DD India News Hour, triple glory for India at the Archery World Cup. India claims gold in men's and women's compound team event. And with 3 months to go, Paris receives the Olympic flame for 2024 Games. Qutub Minar in India's capital New Delhi was lit up with a special message. What was it? Stay with us to know.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
India's multinational conglomerate company Aditya Birla Group Chairman Kumar Mangalam Birla called Vodafone Idea's follow-on public offer as a turning point for India's telecom industry. He said the event marked the start of Voda Idea 2.0. He also thanked Prime Minister Modi for the support and highlighted the government's support in persevering a competitive three-player market and committed to remain in this sector. Shares of Vodafone Idea rebounded more than 11% in the trading session on Thursday after the securities issue in FPO were listed. The stock kicked off the trading session at 11.8 rupees but was seen at 13.1 rupees within a few minutes. US stocks closed higher on Friday, buoyed by a rally in mega-cap growth stocks following robust quarterly results from technology heavyweights. Alphabet opens new tab and Microsoft opens new tab in addition to moderate inflation data. Investors cheered Alphabet's first ever dividend, its $70 billion stock buyback program and better than expected first quarter results. Its shares jumped 10% and reached a record high, lifting the Google parent's market value above $2 trillion. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq registered their biggest weekly percentage gains since early November 2023. The Dow Jones Industrial Average open new tab rose 153.86 points. The S&P 500 open new tab gained 51.54 points and the Nasdaq gained 316.14 points. And from here, we now turn focus to sports. When we talk of sports, the Indian men's and women's teams claimed a gold each in the compound event in the ongoing Archery World Cup Stage 1 in Shanghai on Saturday. The women's team led the charge as the trio of Jyoti Surekha Venam, Aditi Swami and Praneet Kaur got the better of Italy's Marcella Tinioli Irene Frankini and Elisa Rona by 236 to 225. The Indian women's team just dropped 4 points and managed to beat the 6th-seeded Italy without breaking a sweat. On the other hand, Abhishek Verma, Priyansh and Prathamesh Fuge produced a similar display of dominance against Mike Scloresa, Sil Pita and Steph Willems of Netherlands and came out victorious by 238 to 231. The Indian men's team dropped just 2 points. Also, India added a third goal to their kitty as the pair of Jyoti Surekha Venam and Abhishek Verma won the compound mixed team gold final by defeating Estonia 158 to 157. All right, turning focus to IPL now. Punjab Kings set a new world record for the highest run chase in the history of T20 cricket as they overhauled the 262-run target set by Kolkata Knight Riders in the Indian city of Kolkata. Sent into bat, Kolkata scored 261 for 6, but Punjab Kings completed the chase with 8 balls to spare. Punjab bettered South Africa's 259 for 4 against West Indies in March last year. In the IPL, Rajasthan Royals held the previous record for chasing down 224 against Kolkata at Eden Gardens recently, equaling the record they had set against the then Kings 11 Punjab in 2020 in Sharjah. Paris Olympics organisers on Friday received the Games flame in a handover ceremony in Athens ahead of the 68-day torch relay that will end with the opening ceremony on July 26th. The flame arrived at Central Athens Panathinaikos Stadium, site of the first modern Olympics in 1896, after an 11-day relay across Greece and following the lighting in ancient Olympia last week. Several thousand fans and tourists sat in the stands of the horseshoe-shaped marble stadium on a sun-drenched afternoon as the head of the Paris Games, Tony Estanguet, received the torch from Greek Olympic Committee President Spyros Kapralos. He carried it out of the stadium and the flame will be kept in a lantern overnight at the French embassy in the Greek capital. The flame will leave on Saturday on board the 3-masted ship, the Bellam, for the French port of Marseille, where it will arrive on May 8th. And Brazil's all-time top scorer in both men's and women's football, Marta, will retire from internationals this year. The 38-year-old striker announced her retirement ahead of the Paris Olympics. Marta, who has been playing in the United States with Orlando Pride since 2017, hopes to make her 6th appearance at the Olympics at this year's Paris Games. Marta, affectionately called as Queen Marta, is the high-time highest scorer for Brazil with 116 goals in 175 matches. She is also the top scorer in the Women's World Cup with 17 goals, finishing runner-up in 2007. She has won 3 Copa America Femenina titles and was part of the Brazil team that claimed silver medal at the 2004 and 2008 Games. The historic building of Qutub Minar in India's capital, New Delhi, was lit up with a message to encourage voters to exercise their franchise. Delhi will go to polls in phase 6 on May 25th. All right, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan this QR code on your screens to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.